Hello. Gosh, this week has been, it's been eventful. I started this week in the emergency room, so that gives you a good understanding of what this week has been like. I went to the emergency room on last Saturday, because I had passed 5 clots. I started my period that morning, and that evening I passed 5 clots within 2 hours and was in a lot of pain, and it just did not feel right in my body. And I called the nurse hotline for my insurance, and they said, yeah, you should go to the emergency room. And I go there, and they were like, everything looks totally normal, so you can go home. And I went home and I passed 11 more clots, totaling 16 in 24 hours, which definitely does not feel normal. And unfortunately, this feels like how I've always been met on my health journey and with my feminine issues, is that no one takes it seriously. And ironically, I had an appointment scheduled with a naturopath, the first appointment with a naturopath I've ever had, for Thursday, so a couple days after this happened. And it was incredibly eye-opening. She basically said, this is definitely not normal. You should not be passing this many clots. And she wants to put me on a bunch of different supplements and also start taking a topical progesterone, because the belief is that I'm producing too much estrogen, so then I'm having these crazy headaches and PMS and really tender breasts that are happening when my estrogen is dropping but my progesterone is not meeting it. So I'm feeling this great shift of my hormones, and it's really affecting me negatively, because I pretty much have a base level of feeling crummy all throughout the month, and then it just gets worse closer to when I'm gonna menstruate, and then closer to when I'm ovulating. So pretty much all month I feel tired, I feel in pain, I feel nauseous, I feel weak, I just feel not like a healthy human, and that's not a good place to be in. So it was really eye-opening to meet with her, and she requested I get a bunch of blood work done, and I've gotten some of those labs back. And the one that's been really fascinating is that my ferritin level, which I had never heard of this until this appointment, but it basically shows how strong your blood is doing, and specifically your iron is doing. And my ferritin level was at 7, and she said it should be at 70. Yes, you heard that. It's at 7 currently, and it needs to be at 70. So it's significantly low, and she wants me to get an iron IV infusion, but they cost an absurd amount of money. So I'm waiting to figure out if there's a way to have my insurance covered, if I need to go through my primary care, or what else I can do. Because the real hope in doing an IV is that you get my levels up really fast, and I'm hoping that by getting those levels up to a healthier range that I can feel less tired. I'm always tired, and I really have energy to do 1 or 2 things a day, and that's just not how I want to live as a human. And being a caregiver for my husband full-time, that's just not possible. I need to be able to show up and give, and not be just depleting all of my reserves to be able to give. So there's a lot I need to figure out, and I got some more labs back yesterday, and one is a test for my thyroid, and it's really, really high. I don't know what that means. Google is telling me it means I'm gonna die. So I'm waiting to hear from her. I think it's such an unfortunate thing that they send you your labs before your doctor reviews it. I think it's great that you can view it, but I think you shouldn't be able to view it until after you see your doctor. because I got it yesterday on a Saturday and today's Sunday, and I have to wait until I hear from her on Monday. And it just feels like this waiting game of like, am I gonna find out I have some sort of illness or disease? And I mean, that's what Google is telling me, which is like not the most reliable resource. So sitting in a lot of fear and uncertainty and overwhelm. Also, Kyle had a seizure, 2 seizures last night, so it's just been really hectic, and I really don't have the bandwidth to do much other than to talk to you in this way today, and that's where we're at. It's been a lot, and I'm just trying to hold that and honestly distract myself with things that are productive, but also not necessarily where my focus needs to be, like focusing on how to figure out my curly hair, which I totally have not figured out yet. That has been like hyper fixation lately. I've also been fixating on like getting our house together, which is, both things are not a bad thing. It's just a means of me trying to fixate and control something because everything feels like it's well beyond my control. And that is really freaking overwhelming. I feel a lot of things right now. Fear being a big one, uncertainty of my health, and yeah, it's just a lot. I guess the other update that I would have for you is that I was supposed to have my surgery for endometriosis in January, which that obviously has not happened, and it's looking like it's going to happen in March, mid-March. And that's been something that's been very clear to me. Everyone's like, you need to do this. Like every doctor I've talked to, naturopath or Western medicine, is like, you really need to do this and find out what is going on, because it's causing me so many issues that might be a big solution to the problem. And also just knowing what it is so I can best take care of myself and get the best treatment that I need moving forward. So that's a lot to process. I have a lot of fears around getting surgery. I have a lot of fears of hospitals, and I am not looking forward to the recovery process. So that's where I'm at. I'm feeling a lot, and I don't have answers. And that's okay, I guess. Sometimes we don't have the answers, and we just have to surrender into what is and be present to it, because that's really all we have. Easier said than done, which is why I have been escaping and trying to find control in things that I can control and distracting myself. So life is such an interesting dance. It truly is such an interesting dance. It is what it is. Like, here we are, this is what we're doing, and life is what it will be, and embracing it as we go, and accepting it, and sending myself and my physical ailments in my body love, because they're trying to speak to me. They are trying to tell me what I need, and I need to listen to them. So I'm listening, I'm trying and doing all that I can, and at the same time I'm sure I could do more, and that's okay. It is not perfect, because I can do everything 90%, 80%, and that's okay if that's all I have to give. And that's just a nice reminder to myself to be a bit more gentle when I'm beating myself up for not having it perfectly dialed in, eating all the right things, remembering to eat every meal, drinking enough water, like those little things that I can beat myself up for forgetting or neglecting. So that's all I got for you today. A rambling chat on endometriosis, my health, what's happening in life, and yeah, I love you. Thanks for being here, and I will see you next week.